All right, folks, we are back. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas. We're bouncing through your calls, 888-201-2244. Let's go back to Joe in Colorado. Joe, continue.
Yes, thank you. Listen again, Jason. I'm going to try to articulate in words as effectively as I can, and I'm at a point in my career that you have to say the words. And here's the deal. When people, and I need you guys to internalize this and just understand the impact, the positive impact that you are making. I would imagine all of your listeners throughout the world would say the same thing, that we are all pulling the same rope in the same direction. But I'll tell you this, and I am hoping Alex and all you guys are listening, that when people say that you guys are true American patriots, and I would go as far as saying you fellows are a credit to humanity at a breaking point in our world history. Very quickly, to put that into context, I need you to really go home and internalize and understand this. I know you do, but the deal is I'm an aviation illustrator. I've got work in the Smithsonian. I've been doing primarily World War II work for over a decade now, and I work hand in hand with the greatest American patriots that have ever walked the face of the earth. Out of the 27 Tuskegee Airmen that got sent out to receive the Congressional Gold Medal 2 years ago, out of those 27 men, I know 10 of them personally. Out of the 64 remaining living survivors of the 1st Marine and 5th Marine divisions that hit Iwo Jima, out of those 63 fellows, I know 14 of those men personally. I was at the Constitution Day here in Denver, standing shoulder to shoulder with a lot of these fellas, my World War II buddies, and I'm a younger guy like you. I'm a long hair. I've not cut my hair for anybody throughout my whole career, and here I am standing shoulder to shoulder with these guys because they know doggone well the incremental steps that the Nazis took. I mean, I, as a historian, and again, you know, my work is very historic, and you got it's like it's either black or white. It's either right or wrong. There's no gray in between. So for a guy like me, I have got to know my stuff, and I know the incremental steps that the Nazis took and how they got to where they were by 1945. And the deal is, I look at what's happening. It's 1939 all over again, and it's just appalling that nobody, you know, the mainstream has got people so brainwashed. And, you know, even with what happened this week, there's so many guys that I know, pilots and others, that just can't believe that the National Guard were involved in this, and just really, you know, they cannot comprehend, they cannot wrap their mind around it. But the fact is, again, I thought it was absolutely critical to take just a minute to put that into context. I'll tell you this, my veteran buddies that were there, I've got D-Day friends, I've got guys that were in the trenches that were dug in during the Bastogne, I should say, Battle of the Bulge. I've got guys that walked the Death March in Bastogne. Anyhow, all of these guys would consider guys like you and Alex our country's greatest heroes at this point. I am not pro-military. That's not where I come from. I come from a much more, how can I say, just a personal level, what these guys did. And I would just put you and guys like Alex and Luke right up in that type of context and at that level. And it's important for me to say those words. With that said, I'll just ask you a simple question. As we step back from the events of this week, and as the media, you know, as this news gets out of what really happened and people really wrap their minds, America wrapped their minds around the utterly despicable display of force and just, again, thug mentality as you stood there witnessing this, you know, history in the making. Does it occur to you, or do you feel that some of these law enforcement and military that were there will look back by even tonight, you know, Sunday evening or later on this week, and realize what they did was just absolutely wrong? I'm asking you the question.
Well, I think so,
Joe. Do you feel
Joe,
that we'll get to a point where these guys, in the next few weeks, will understand, you know, what they did was truly unconstitutional, and they can no longer have a part in that. Do you get a sense?
Well, I don't know if they're going to quit. Listen, a lot of people go along to get along, Joe, and I think there were people there that did not want to be there, but they always put the people that are gung-ho and ready to do this thing and want to attack in charge. You know, that's why when we play the video, you got the guy going, "It's time to go home, boys," and the kid's going, "Please, just let me go, please." No, boom, boom, boom. And then, "Oh, you want to come back? Break your knuckle." There are those out there that right away realized this isn't the right thing. And Luke Rudowski, you know, on my show said, yeah, there were other people coming up to me, patting me on the back, saying that I'd done a good job. But when we talk about the military and how dumbed down we've become as a society, the military doesn't know what posse comitatus is. And I wasn't just talking to, you know, newbies, 18 to 22-year-olds that had just joined the military. I was talking to 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, people who, you know, should know what the separation of military and police is and why it is so important. So we have a big struggle ahead of us, and I really thank you for putting us on a pedestal like that. But, you know, so many people need to join us on that pedestal if we are to win, because they are patient. They know how to use things incrementally. They know how to psychologically wage warfare against us and turn us against each other at the of a hat. Like, boom, and then all of a sudden, yeah, that's the enemy. I'm going to go get him. So we got a long road ahead. Joe, I thank you for the call. We're going to go to the other callers in just a moment, but I want to read some of this. Brain scans reveal what you've seen. Having modeled how images are represented in the brain, the researchers translated recorded patterns of neural activity into pictures of what test subjects had seen. Though practical applications are decades away, the research could someday lead a dream readers and thought-controlled computers. It's what you would actually use if you were going to build a functional brain-reading device, said Jack Gallant, a University of Berkeley neuroscientist. The research led by Gallant and Berkeley postdoctoral researcher Thomas Naselius builds on earlier works in which they used neural patterns to identify pictures from within a limited set of options. The current approach, described Wednesday in Neuron, uses a more complete view of the brain's visual centers. Its results are closer to reconstruction than identification, which Gallant likened to the magician's card trick, where you pick a card from a deck, and he guesses which card you picked. The magician knows all the cards you could have seen. In the latest study, the card could be a photograph of anything in the universe. The magician has to figure out without ever seeing it. And it later goes on to say that there would be applications like CAD, CAM, or even Photoshop straight from your brain with these readings. Just an incredible article showing you what kind of times we live in. I mean, it's a technopoly, and the technology that is being revealed to the people and developed right now is off the charts. All right, let's continue. Let's go to Mark in Georgia. Mark, you're on the line.
Hey,
yes, sir.
How are you, sir? I
Good.
was wondering, you are more technically astute than I, even though I'm over half again your age. I was wondering if we wanted to get a DVD, to say that the internet breaks down and we need a contingency plan, and we want to be able to pack as much information, given that people are not going to know what's going on. They need to get quality information. They know that trusting many truths is a bad idea. Would it be DivX or something like that, where basically you have this DVD that's double-sided, is like the software needed to burn these into regular DVDs.
Okay. So there is. Absolutely. Here's what you do. You can go to a free source like download.com. That's run by CNET. I always recommend download.com to people. Just type in DVD converter, okay? And what'll come up is a plethora of different programs that will not only take DivX files, but they'll take WMVs. They'll take just about anything out there from a flash file, and they'll convert it into what is called a VOB file. Now, VOB files, it'll actually build a folder with multiple VOB files and a VTS directory. And in that directory, you will have an actual regular DVD. I wouldn't even get the dual layer ones, though. Let me tell you why. Because it's often very hard to take multiple files and then burn them into one DVD without having to do some editing. But there are very simple, easy conversion programs. Again, just go to download.com, get one of the free ones. There's all sorts of open source software out there. If you want to spend a little bit of money Nero actually will, if you go get Nero, and I think it's a program now that's less than $100, it might be around 50 or 60, that will take almost any video file and convert it to DVD and burn it all at once. So you don't even have to burn it after you convert it. So Nero is one of those really great tools now that you can take any kind of file format, drag it in, say you want to build a DVD out of it, and it'll even give you a menu. Those will actually allow you to burn multiple files. So say you got a DVD 9. You could probably burn 2 to 3 movies on that using Nero. Answer your question?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't know if you're familiar with Isaac Asimov. He wrote a series of books called The Foundation, where basically a scientist developed a form of mathematics where he could see that society, the galactic society, was going to fall apart within a few years. And he said, here's the plan. We're going to preserve the knowledge that we've accumulated, and we're going to set it out here where it's going to be safe, that when everything falls apart, we have something to rebuild on. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think would be a good idea, that because like I say, it's a question of how things are going to play out, and are we going to mitigate this?